What's up, VC? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel, and it's time for another hard rock and heavy metal update. Let's just kind of jump in. This first one I'm going to show is Dee Snider, frontman from Twisted Sister. This is his most recent album. It came out maybe 3 or 4 months ago. He did a Pledge Music campaign. I had shown it to John, SMS Captain Howdy, and he ordered a signed copy. You can also get it from Dee Snider's website. I ended up not having the money at the time for the signed copy, but I was messing around on eBay, or I'm sorry, on Amazon a couple weeks ago, and ran across a copy for like $6.99. It had a little damage to the corner and stuff. I didn't know what to expect, so I went ahead and got it. I don't know if you can see the damage here, but comes on this pink vinyl. I don't know if you can see it. It looks kind of red in the video there. Again, I didn't know what to expect. Dee Snider, his solo stuff is a little bit hit or miss. Some of his side projects I've liked, some of the stuff I haven't. This is actually pretty poppy, kind of a pop hard rock with there's elements of kind of new school punk, kind of in the vein of Against Me, or not Against Me, I'm sorry, Against Me, a little bit of that as well. I dug it. I usually don't go for the poppier stuff like this, but I really ended up liking it, and So What, the final song, was probably the song that I liked the most. He also does a cover of Head Like a Hole. He does a cover of an acoustic cover of We're Not Gonna Take It, which I kind of dig as well. Pretty solid album though. I mean, it's definitely worth what I paid for it, you know. Next up, one of my favorite bands. I talk about this band all the time. This is the final release of theirs from Wax Maniacs. This is Engine Beast. Just killer speed metal. And this one comes on this, I guess like a Coke bottle, clear vinyl. Man, Wax Maniacs is not messing around. I've gotten 7 of their releases because I've got the two newest ones. Just came in yesterday. I haven't listened to those, so I'll talk about those later. But I bought almost all of their releases. Every one of them sounds absolutely phenomenal. Excellent customer service. My first copy of Engine Beast was damaged, and I sent them a picture. They had another one in the mail the next day. It doesn't get much better than that. No questions asked. I asked them where to ship the other one to. They said keep it, so I sent that out as VCLT. So, and actually, speaking of acid, this is what we're listening to in the background. This is live in Belgium '84. It's good quality. The only thing I don't like about this is there's not much. The bass is kind of weak on it, but here's some great photos. But again, one of my favorite bands. Next up, the Def Leppard EP. This was one of the Record Store Day releases. I actually got up early, went to one of my local stores that usually gets quite a number of every press. They usually get 10 of everything is kind of their goal. I was talking to him. He has 4 different distributors he goes to, so he can try to get 10 of everything. I got there about an hour before they opened, and I was like the 40th person in line. It was pretty crazy. Last Record Store Day, I got there 10 minutes before they opened, and I was the 4th person in line. So one thing about this, though, here's the actual album. I put it into a Blake sleeve. Kind of a side note, if you bought this and haven't listened to it yet, it says 33 RPMs here. It actually plays at 45. It doesn't take long to figure that out, but really nice pressing, really good sound quality. I don't have an original 7-inch. I used to have a bootleg of this. It sounded like shit, so This sounds much better than that, but I don't have an original to compare it to. Really good quality though, and it's nice to have an official copy of this. And actually, like I said, I went to the record store. I was like 40th in line, and by the time I got in, they let 5 people in at a time. All the Def Leppard was gone, and all of the Alice in Chains was gone. That was 2 of the main ones I was looking for, other than some Waylon, Stevie Ray Vaughan. There were a couple others I was looking for, but 2 of the main ones I wanted was that and the Alice in Chains, and both of those were sold out. And then I was on Facebook a couple days later, I think on Monday, so 2 days after Record Store Day, and I noticed that on Sunday night, right before they closed, one of my local record stores showed what they had left from Record Store Day. There were only like 7 albums left, and this was the last one they showed. So I got there the minute they opened the next morning so I could grab that copy, and I got it. Next up, man, I was so stoked when I heard that this was coming out. I got online and pre-ordered it that day. So glad to have this. I'm a huge fan of this band. This is Sanctuary, Inception. Beautiful artwork as always. Nice band shot there. And it comes with a really cool book with the original sketch for the artwork. And you've got pretty much a story of the band, of the artwork. You've got lyrics for a couple of the songs. But these are all demos. Here's the actual one of the demo tape. Some demos, some original recordings of some songs that were released later. I love the early Sanctuary. I love the more operatic vocals, the higher vocals that were only present in their debut album. Their 2 albums after that, the vocal style changed. Those are both still masterpieces. But it's so nice to have another album from that era. This is one I highly, highly recommend picking up. It doesn't get much better than actually any of the Sanctuary albums. They just put out another album a couple years ago after a long hiatus, and they sound just as amazing as they always have. So it's really nice to see some more material coming out, and I hope to see a new album from them sometime soon. Next up, I'm kind of hit or miss on this one. I'll have to give it another spin. This is the Cavalera Conspiracy. Cavalera Conspiracy is Max and Igor Cavalera. This is their current band. Max is still also doing Soulfly, which has gone to a more aggressive heavy metal sound. This is actually the same band that's touring right now as Return to the, what is it? What do they call it? Return to the, I can't think of the name of it, but they're touring right now. Return to the Roots, and the Cavalera brothers are touring right now as the Cavalera brothers, and playing the whole Roots Bloody Roots album, which I did a review of a while back. But it's this band. It's basically Cavalera Conspiracy. It's the same drummer, same bassist. Same bassist, and obviously the same guitarist and singer. But they're guitarist and drummer. But this is my least favorite of the Cavalera Conspiracy albums. I like the first 2 much better. That one, it's not bad. It's just that the whole record sounds the same. There's not a lot of difference from song to song. Next up, one of the best albums from last year. I bought this on vinyl, or on CD, because I found it for like $5 a week after it came out. But this album's absolutely amazing. I'm glad to have it on vinyl. This is Testament, Brotherhood of the Snake. Man, Testament is just killing it. I've liked everything that they've put out, ever. But the stuff they've released over the last 10 years or so, since Alex Skolnick is back in the band, is just absolutely phenomenal. This album is just amazing from beginning to end, and I love the artwork on here as well. I really like their last album, but I like this much better. next up, I may have shown this one before. I don't remember. This is kind of a tricky band. They get mischaracterized a lot of the time. They kind of screwed up with their first album. This is a band that is kind of a cross between Bay Area thrash and melodic death metal. There's huge elements of both. Where they screwed up is on their first album. They brought in a singer. I believe it was the bass player had been singing for their early material prior to their first major label debut, or prior to their major label debut. And then they brought in this new singer for their first album, and he had more of a what would I call it? Post-hardcore? Not post-hardcore. More of a screamo type vocal though. And they got characterized with the rest of those bands, and it kind of hurt them, and it's taken them a while to get past that whole post-hardcore death or metalcore. That's what I was trying to think of. They kind of got bootstrapped as metalcore, and they're not. If you listen to their music, it's I mean, you can hear the Bay Area thrash in there. You can hear the melodic death metal. They're really a great band. On this second album, they went back to their original vocalist. Unfortunately, they had already been given that moniker, which really hurt them. But this is Silosis, Edge of Earth. And this is a killer album and a really underrated band. I did a review of their newest album in 2015, towards the end of the year when it came out. It's a great album. All of their albums have been really good, with the exception of that first one. And even that first one musically is pretty kick-ass, with the exception of the vocals. They just kind of hurt themselves. This next one is an absolute ass kicker. I love everything about this album. I can't wait to get the other two albums from this band. And they have either a 7-inch or a 10-inch EP that's either about to come out or just came out. I pre-ordered it, so I should be getting that any time. But this is a band called Mantar. It's really hard to describe this band. I've heard people call them a mix between black metal, punk, and doom. And I can kind of see that. I've heard them called blackened sludge. The band is not blackened. They do have some dark imagery and dark topics, but it's not a satanic band. It's not satanic lyrics. But they've got a sound that's all their own, and it's heavy. And what's really amazing about this band is it's two friends. It's two guys. You got a guitarist and a drummer. And it's some of the heaviest music I've heard. It sounds like a 5-piece is playing. And it's just these two guys. I can't wait to see these guys live. But this album is absolutely amazing. And it's called Death by Burning. But beautiful artwork. Here's a shot of the band. I'll put a link down below to one of their videos. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to do a needle drop in a second. So let's go ahead and do a needle drop. So there you go. That was Mantar. I can't get enough of this band. They definitely have that sludge feel. I don't really get the sludge though. They're definitely in that area, but it's definitely more of a modified doom. Whatever you call it though, this album is absolutely phenomenal. If you like doom metal, if you like sludge metal, if you like black metal, the black metal, I kind of hear it in the vocals. He's got kind of a screechy vocal. that could be reminiscent of black metal, but I wouldn't really characterize them. I ran across this album. I think Marty Worm did a video where he showed, he was talking about tapes, and he talked about the label he got them from. And I was checking out the label, and I ran across the tape of this for like $5.99 or $4.99, and I clicked on the sound clip and really dug it, and said, screw that, I don't want the tape, I'm going to order the vinyl. So I grabbed this. This is still out there. This was from 2014, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head. But, yeah, it doesn't say it anywhere. But it's still easy to run across, and I didn't pay much for it. I think 16 or 17 bucks. But amazing, amazing, amazing album. Next up, I was talking about this the other day, or in my last video. As I've been running across the Motorhead reissues, I've been grabbing them. I picked up 3 or 4 of them for right around 10 bucks a piece, and this was one of them. Bomber. This is another one that I had on CD, but I didn't have on vinyl. Just an absolute classic. This one was 80, I believe. Nope, 79. So we're still in the early era. Definitely my favorite era for Motorhead. But I mean, you've got all the aces, Bomber, obviously, Dead Men Tell No Tales, amazing song. Sweet Revenge, Sharpshooter. Just every song on this album is just awesome. And last, is this last but not least? No, I got 2 more. This next one was VCLT. I believe this was from Eric Dust. He knows I'm a big fan of Thin Lizzy, and he sent this out. This is a single. It's actually a Phil Lynott single for 19. And then the B-side is A Night in the Life of a Blues Singer, which is a Thin Lizzy track featuring Gary Moore. To be perfectly honest, I'm not a fan of a lot of Phil Lynott's solo stuff, and this is another one. I'm just not a fan of this song. It wasn't a song I was familiar with, so it was cool to hear it. It just didn't do much for me. However, the B-side is absolutely killer, and it's definitely worth having this 12-inch just for that Thin Lizzy song. And now, last but not least, this is another band that I talked about. I picked up their first album, which was a compilation of their EPs that came out in 2015, I believe. And I had mentioned that had I gotten that in 2015, that probably would have been my top album of the year, if not a top couple. This album stays in that same vein. It's a mix of everything that's great about 70s hard rock. You can just hear those 70s influences in there. But this band just absolutely blows me away. This is Tarot. And this is their album from last year. I talked about it when I showed that last album. I was really happy to finally run across a copy. And the packaging of this is phenomenal. It's got a look of like a block print. And just check that out. Beautiful artwork. And it doesn't stop there. Then you pull out the inner, and then you've got more artwork on the inner sleeve, and it's a really thick cardstock. And then it transfers on to the center labels. Oops. But this album's absolutely amazing. This is another one I highly recommend you check. If you're into 70s hard rock, you're going to love this album. You know what? Let's go ahead and do a needle drop of this as well. So check this out and tell me what you think, PC. That's it, VC. Tell me what you think of the albums. Tell me what you think of the 2 needle drops. 2 bands that I highly recommend checking out. A lot of cool stuff. My contest ended on Friday. If you guys have any other questions that you want me to answer, I'm going to start doing those. It'll probably be the first part of next week. It's going to take a couple videos to answer all the questions. But if you have some last minute questions you want to get in, go ahead and shoot those to me and I'll answer those as well. So look forward to that. I may do another video in the meantime. But either way, I'll talk to you soon and take care, BC.